Hey guys, have you ever wondered what is it that you pay attention to the most in an RPG? As in, what exactly is the most important aspect? I've seen people quitting games for one simple reason too many times. The story is bad, the characters are trash, the music sucks, the battle system is terrible, the game looks like ass, the gameplay didn't click with them, and a big long etc. One thing is enough to turn them off. Now, most gamers quit playing not only for one reason but for two or more. I myself fall into that category. I rarely reject RPGs just for one thing. Which leads me to the next question. What the hell am I really looking for in a role-playing game? My whole life, I've played all kinds of RPGs. There are tons of them with terrible stories and characters, but with awesome music, graphics, or more specifically, great gameplay mechanics. I've also seen the opposite though, amazing story and characters but terrible gameplay or battle system. So it mostly narrows down into story and gameplay, right? Of course, graphics and music are important as well, but I'm not too sure those two are deciding factors for a lot of people. Are you going to reject an RPG where everything is great but the music isn't memorable? It might affect your opinion of it, that's true, but I wouldn't stop playing a game because the music is mediocre. Unless the music is horrendous and it bothers me that much. Graphics? Well, there's a difference between graphics and art style. Vanillaware games, for example, tend to be absolutely beautiful, but they don't have a Square Enix level of visuals, alright. Graphics, though, are still excellent. Then there's other games with graphics that look like a mobile RPG, like the Langrisser remake, even though everything else is just fine. So, okay, maybe music and graphics are features that might help some gamers give RPGs a yes or a no. But I insist, the most important aspects in this lovely genre are the story/characters and the gameplay itself. Let's have a look at the former first. I've seen some RPGs with great and intriguing stories with an amazing cast of characters. I dare say it usually is because of the characters that the story ends up being better. But of course, there's a difference between a good plot and a good cast. This is all subjective as usual, but I've seen RPGs that I can easily use as an example. Devil Survivor 2, in my opinion, has an amazing story, but a weak cast of characters. I seriously only liked 2 or 3. So yeah, an RPG can have a great story, but a bad cast of characters. Did that stop me from playing, finishing, and loving the heck out of it? Nope. So to me, if the story is great, I can overlook the characters, or maybe even the other way around. Before we analyze the other aspect then, let me ask you this. What if the RPG has an amazing story but bad gameplay? Will you still play it? Let's take a look at the gameplay aspect of RPGs then. It's no surprise that today's market seems to be brimming with unoriginal plots, overused ideas, lack of writing creativity, and lots of TNA that add nothing relevant to the story. Now, we can still find some great experiences and even some amazing hidden gems with those negative qualities, because in the end, we're talking about video games, and if a video game doesn't have good gameplay, including a good battle system, chances are we're gonna ditch it no matter how good the story might be. Unless it's one of those it isn't bad, it just isn't great cases. Well, I for one can put up with certain technical nonsense as long as the plot can keep me immersed. Nonetheless, video games are video games, not books, so they can't be judged merely by their writing. So my question will then be, what if the RPG has an amazing gameplay but a bad story? Will you still play it? I gave my answer already. Yes, I will still play it. If story and characters are lame but the combat is awesome, then yeah, I'll give it a try. Unless the story and characters are absolutely horrible and I can't stand them. In conclusion, every aspect might be just as important as the other when it comes to RPGs. There's really no objective answer here, as it is, as always, down to the gamer's personal tastes. However, I'm gonna have to admit one thing. This genre mainly flourished for its storytelling back at the early 90s. It is precisely the reason why it became so popular, unique, and respected. Everybody knows these games focus on the plot more so than anything else. Some people even refuse to play them because they don't want to read the text or dialogues. Which leads me to say, at least in my opinion, the story is the most important aspect in a role-playing game. But in the end, it's all about what matters to you the most. And don't forget that stories and gameplay can also be like the old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. With that in mind then, let me ask you one more time. What is the most important aspect in an RPG? That's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching.